Welcome, welcome to the Mini to Mogul Online Virtual Summit, your blueprint to launching your business. I'm your host, Salah Ward, and today we are with Miss Alysa Rushton. I'm so excited because Alysa is one of the powerhouses in the speaker movement. She's an award-winning certified holistic health coach and wellness educator. Alysa has about 10 years of experience as a professional speaking coach and sales trainer and has trained over a thousand sales executives to shine their light and be powerful presenters on the stage and on camera. Now, she is currently known as one of the six-figure women voice igniters. She is a master certified public speaking instructor and sales coach who teaches heart-centered entrepreneurs how to craft, package, and promote their authentic message and shine their light so that they can share their unique message around the world. Alysa is the founder and the CEO of Magnetic Messengers Academy. Alysa's clients and students end up going to and doing great things like publishing books, speaking on TED stages, and becoming feature experts on the news and more. We are really, really excited to have Miss Alysa here, and I know that she has a plethora of information that she wants to share with you. Miss Alysa, welcome, Mighty Mighty Mogul. How are you?
Hey, Salah, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. I'm so excited. You're over there in Hawaii. It looks all pretty over there. You have light in the background. It's dark over here.
Yes, it is beautiful in
Thank
Hawaii,
God.
I will tell you.
Definitely. Are you from Hawaii?
No, I'm not from here. I'm from the West Coast, but it's always been my dream to live in Hawaii. So I felt like, hey, why not go live my dream? And so here I am.
Yes, that's what we do. We're living our dream. Tell me now, you have had a lot of background with entrepreneurs and you've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs around the world. What do you find is the number one thing that entrepreneurs struggle with?
All right. So when people are just getting started, what I notice people struggle with is really two key things. The first thing is finding clients, finding people to purchase from them. Actually, it seems like it would be a no-brainer, but it's actually not, especially for coaches, entrepreneurs, authors, and consultants. So that's one of the first struggles. And the second struggle I see is really understanding what their message is and relating that message in a way that actually attracts and pulls in their ideal client. So those are really the two key things. And man, what's really interesting is once you figure those two key things out, then it's like your just business just starts to take off and fly. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. A lot of times what I find is that people don't understand that building your list is directly related to building your clients. And I find a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners who want clients, but they don't have an email list, they don't have a social media list, they don't have a text list, they don't have any type of list that they can use in order to build their client base. Can you talk to us a little bit about how those two are related?
Well, they go hand in hand in today's climate. You must have a list and you must be actively engaged with those list members. And you must be providing great, valuable content. And so, you know, people I see, they run into this what I call a glass ceiling where they've maxed out at the level, whatever that level that they're at, and it's because they haven't done an appropriate amount of list building for their business. And once they max out at whatever size their list is, it's like they can't crest that next income bump. And so the only thing to be done is to build that list and really start attracting in those people that want to hear your message, that actually want to purchase what you have, that want to see you as the expert and really take your advice and go to that next level themselves.
Right, right. So what are the different stages of list building, would you say? So is it the first 100 people on your list and then you go to the first 1,000 people? What would the stages be?
Well, it's an interesting question, and if it's okay, I want to reframe it just a little bit. So when I think about what I do in terms of showing people how to speak, one of the things I love about speaking when it comes to list building is that, one, you don't need a budget for this. So when you're just getting started out, you can go out and you can give an amazing talk, and if you do it in a very specific way, you can build your list And it's a very sustainable practice, and you can actually start out with a list of 0 and go give 3 talks and have 100 people on your list. And then you can keep giving talks and have 1,000 people on your list. And so when it comes to what are the stages, well, I sort of think of stages as I've maxed out all of the people in my local area that I can get on my list as stage 1. So that means I go out, I give talks to audiences that I know are going to have my ideal clients sitting in them. I offer them an amazing free gift that's got a lot of value that I would actually charge for, but I'm not. And I'm inviting them to get on my list. And then, I've maxed that out in my local area. And usually, if you're doing this well, many people, if you live in a good sized market, even in Hawaii here, I could totally do this. I could easily get 1,000 people on my list just through speaking alone. Now, when you look at the figures, I forget who said this online, but they said, for every 5,000 people you have on your list, it translates into about $100,000 in income. So you do the math. If for every 5,000 people on your list translates into $100,000 in income, if you had 1,000 people on your list, that would translate into about $20,000 or $25,000 worth of income. So you can do that.
Very powerful. So let's repeat that for a second.
Yeah.
So every 5,000 people translate until about $100,000 in income. So you guys that are watching that, write that down. That's very important, because when you're breaking down your numbers and you're trying to figure out your price packages, you're going to want to know that. Please continue, Ms. Alysa.
Sure. And let it be said too that that's going to really be dependent on what your offer is, right? So if you have a higher end offer, you could probably get to $100,000 with a list of 2,500. If you have a lower end offer, you might need a list of 10,000. So it really varies, but really speaking in very general terms, every 5,000 people on your list is about $100,000. So what I guess I'm saying here is that when you are going out and giving a high value talk, when you're going out and then inviting the audience members to join your list through this free gift system that I teach through Get Clients with Speaking, my course that I have called Get Clients with Speaking, what's great is that you can build your list by 1,000 people. Some clients have done it with 2,000 or 3,000 people, all in their local market. And the beautiful part about speaking that I love is that you don't need a budget for this. All you need is a talk and to get out and get yourself booked. And it's not like Facebook ads or SEO or Google clicks. You just don't need a budget. You can do this for free, and you can do it at any level of your business. And I especially love this for people who are just getting started. Maybe you're in the first 1 to 3 years of your business. This speaking to build your list and build your clientele is huge, because people see you as the expert. And if you're doing it right, if you're structuring your talk right, and you're giving away a great free gift, you cannot help but build your list.
That's perfect. I think that's very valuable information. So you talked about the fact that you don't need a lot of money to be able to build your list through speaking. And it sounds like that's one of your favorite tools to be able to actually build your list. So what resources do you need in order to be able to build this list? You said you don't need money. So what would you recommend that they have?
Yeah, you don't need money, which is brilliant, right? Because as a business owner, we've got money going out to so many different things. Instead, what you need is just a couple of really key components. So the first component is a signature talk. This talk is based on an offer. So hopefully by now in your business, you have some sort of coaching offer, or maybe it's a book, or maybe you have a product, but you have some sort of thing that you're selling. And then what you do is you take that thing that you're selling and you design a talk around that. So for example, let's say I was a health coach and my topic was digestion, and my thing that I was selling was how to heal your digestion coaching package for $2,000. Let's just use this as an example. So what I would do is I would create a signature talk based around some of the tenets of my Healing Your Digestion program. I would go out, I would deliver that talk to an audience, hopefully filled with ideal clients. And in that talk, I would give them a free gift designed to get them jump started with healing their digestion. So I would think as a coach, what's the quickest win I can get for this audience? And probably it's going to be the 5 foods that are keeping your gut inflamed and upset all the time that you don't know you're eating, right? That's a really compelling free gift. Who wouldn't want that? So in your talk, you offer people this free gift. And then you don't pass around a clipboard. I see people do this and it makes me crazy. I want to pull out my hair. What I see people do, Nselaa, is they pass around a clipboard and they're like, okay, if you want to get on our newsletter, here's the clipboard. We're going to pass it around. And that actually works against you. I was recently auditing.
Right, because they're going to be like, no, I don't want to be on this clipboard. No. I don't want to be on, on a list where you're going to spam me. Of course, no.
Exactly. Works. Exactly. And recently I was at a women's conference and I was auditing this talk and 2 coaches were doing exactly that. And they had a room. It was filled with 100 hungry entrepreneurs. They got out the clipboard, they passed it around, and after their event was over, I said, how many names did you get out of the 100 people? And they said, I think we got 20. And that's the problem. When you don't offer value, of course people aren't going to want to sign up for your list. So the first real key here is to give your audience a gift that gives them a quick win that you know that they will want. And so how you do that is you actually give each audience member a handout, a piece of paper, and you actually ask them, how many of you would like to have the 5 biggest food triggers that will heal your gut, that if you stopped eating them tomorrow would make a huge difference in your diet and in your life and take away your pain. Now, what we have to remember as speakers is it's monkey see, monkey do up there. Right? So if I'm a speaker and I raise my hand and I nod my head and I get people doing this, they get into that monkey see, monkey do, and they want some of that action and they'll raise their hand and nod their head. And then I'll take out the piece of paper that I've just passed to them. I'll say, go ahead and check this box that says, yes, Alysa, I want the 5 foods that are messing with my digestion handout. And go ahead and just check that box and then write down your name and email. And you pause in silence, because again, it's monkey see, monkey do. And you pretend like you're writing, and then bam, you just got 95 or more % of that audience on your list. Then after your talk is over, you go back, you either yourself, you put it into your mail service, and then you send them their free gift and you start creating connection with them. So that's one of the best ways I know of to build your list that you don't need any money for. And again, all you need is a signature talk. You need a great free gift. And then there's one other piece that you need. Do you mind if I talk about that for a second?
Tell us about it. I want to hear about it. I think it's valuable.
Okay, so the other key component that you need, and I say this at the end, but it actually comes before, is you need a talk title and results-oriented bullet points that the audience is going to get when they come to this talk, because this is where a lot of entrepreneurs go wrong. They'll have a very generic talk title. They don't have very good bullet points. They're just kind of more of the how, not the what, the what you're going to get, the results. And it's more of the how, which is a snoozer. No one wants to know the how. They want to know, what am I going to get? What's the results? So you've got to have that really great title that just compels people and lets them know, yes, I cannot miss this talk. And let me just give you an example of this. Is that okay?
It's breaking up a little bit, so I didn't hear that last sentence that you gave. If you could repeat that for everybody, because I don't know if it broke up for them as well.
Oh, okay. I asked if I could give you an example of a really great a before and after talk title.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Okay. Give us an example. Yes.
Okay. So here's an example of a before and after. So the before, Nutrition 101. You have no idea how many times I've seen that talk title out there. Nutrition 101. That is a snoozer. It's what I call a snoozer. People don't want to show up for that talk. So instead, here's an example. This person was doing a talk based on healing foods for cancer, for folks that had cancer. So they created a title and didn't have a promise in it. Now, you can't promise miracles, but they said raw food, cancer, and the possibility of miracles. Now, do you notice how those two titles are miles apart? One is like Nutrition 101, and the other one's like, wow, raw foods, cancer, and the possibility of miracles. Oh my gosh, right? They're so far apart. And when you have a great title, people will make sure they show up to that event. And that's really important. You got to have people at your talk in order to build your list.
Right, right.
It's true.
Yeah, it's breaking up a little bit, so I might miss a couple of sentences or a couple of words every here and now and there, but I think that I get what you just said, that the title is very, very important, and everybody that's actually paying attention to this right here, make sure that you write that down, because that's very critical, making sure that you have that title to bring the audience and to bring the people that are going to buy your product or service to your talk. So yes, definitely, I think that's very valuable. Now, I have a question for you about making sure that you are collecting these emails and telephone numbers. How do you feel about text campaigns? Instead of using even, a piece of paper, how do you feel about using text campaigns at these live speeches as an option to using a piece of paper?
I love a text campaign. So one of the things that I teach in my course Get Clients with Speaking is I teach about using lead pages. Lead pages is a great capture system. And so for example, what you would do is you would say, okay, everybody, text in 11444 and text in a customized word, digestion or digest or health. And they would text that, and then instantly they would get a response back that says, hey, to get your free gifts, to get your free digestion foods, healthy foods, whatever, text in your email address. They would text in their email address, they get added to your list, and instantly they get that free gift. I'm a huge fan. I know there are other services out there, but I particularly like lead pages for this service. They do a really nice job of executing and tying it into all the little pieces, parts, your mail service, getting that client the deliverable, and it happens really nicely right on the spot.
That's such important information, and everybody, I want you to write that down. We like to call it drops of water, right? Because we're giving water to the thirsty. They're thirsty for information. They're thirsty for knowledge. They're thirsty to know how to make their businesses boom, right? So that's a piece of that's a drop of water that's going to help quench your thirst in this process. Write down lead pages, right? Because lead pages is a great tool that you could actually use to launch your business, to be able to collect email addresses and telephone numbers, and to have a text campaign. Another one that I've used before is Clickfunnels as well. Have you used Clickfunnels? What do you think about that?
I have them both. I love and use them both in my business. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'm one of those people. I have a big enough business that I can utilize both things. I love ClickFunnels as well. So I think, for those folks who are just getting started, lead pages is a little more affordable. You can get started, not with a $97 a month MRC or monthly recurring charge, which is a lot for a new business owner. I think with lead pages, you can do it for as little as $27, or maybe it's $37 a month, which is much more manageable. I like to see most people grow into ClickFunnels. I think ClickFunnels is a great place to be, but it has to make sense for your business right off the bat, I think.
Gotcha. What's the benefit of using both of them for you?
That's a great question. So, so ClickFunnels for me is a great system that houses particular funnels that I'm working on. So the pages aren't all over every place, and I'm not sharing my screen, so this won't make a lot of sense. But in ClickFunnels, for example, if I were doing a book launch campaign, I would be able to create the main book launch page and then the under pages underneath that, and it would be contained within one funnel. So that's a something I really like about ClickFunnels. And ClickFunnels also is the kind of they've done some really neat things visuals wise that you can really customize it. It's a more of a drag and drop builder, and it looks really high end. So I like ClickFunnels for that. Lead pages, I like for those quick and dirty pages that I just want to jam out and I don't want to have to think a lot about. Like maybe it's a course redirect, or maybe it's a quick thank you page for another product that I'm doing. So it's more for the quick and dirty pages for me. But I want to say that I started with lead pages, and lead pages is how I built out all my free gift campaigns and all my webinar campaigns and all my course campaigns. So that was my main funnel system. And only very recently, in probably the last 6 months, I've moved over to ClickFunnels. So I'm in that transition place where I still have lead pages for the quick and dirty stuff, but I also have ClickFunnels because it's pretty and it houses everything in its nice little funnel and doesn't get all crazy like lead pages can tend to do.
Gotcha. Yeah, I use both of them as well, but sometimes I'm always questioning myself, like, why do I have both of these? Can't I just get rid of one of them? And I think initially I just felt like I was being lazy and I didn't want to get rid of both of them. But I'm like, okay, should I use both of them, or can I consolidate it? Is there something that I can use that I really, really need, one or the other for? So yeah, I have both of them too, but I don't like having to double up on my spending just to have both of them. And I've been trying to determine whether I want to consolidate those.
Yeah, I'm in that same place.
We're talking about those pages. What's your favorite online tool that you think that every entrepreneur should have when they're launching their business?
Favorite online tool for people just getting started? Do I have to just say just one? Can I say 3?
No, not at all.
Okay. Favorite online tool to collect email addresses and start your business, right? Because your list is your business. Your list is where your clients are, right? So here's the combination I really like for people who are getting started. MailChimp as a list service. So MailChimp, $10 a month will get you automation, which you want to have if you're starting a business, right? With the combination of lead pages so that you can have a really sexy looking opt-in gift. You can house it right on your website. You can redirect your whole website so that people, when they go to, Nselaa.com or AlysaRushton.com, they just see this beautiful looking landing page. For example, mine's in lead pages. And when people go to getclientswithspeaking.com, they're instantly confronted with my opt-in gift, one of my opt-in gifts, which is the 7-step signature talk formula, right? So it helps people get right away what I'm about. Then once they have lead pages, the third tool that I love is Canva. Canva is a design tool that you can use to make really pretty looking free gifts, free PDF guides that when you're just getting started out, you might not have a lot of extra money for a designer. So with Canva, there's a ton of free templates and it's super easy to use. And man, oh man, even though I have money to hire a designer, I actually like making my own stuff. I feel like it puts my energy signature imprint on it, and I enjoy the artistry of it. And anyway, so it's MailChimp for your emails, lead pages for the lead capture, and Canva to make it all look pretty and to do design stuff and pictures and things like that. Those are my top 3 favorite tools.
Those are actually, 3 of my top 3 favorite as well. I love MailChimp. I used to use Aweber, and then I moved over to MailChimp. And I used Infusionsoft for a little while also, but then I felt like I was spending too much for what Infusionsoft was offering. Have you used Infusionsoft or Salesforce? I use Salesforce as well. When I was at the law firm, I used Salesforce for all my client management, and I like MailChimp better than Salesforce also.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Um,
And I like Canva too. I actually just started using Canva probably like the last 6 months or so. It's very drag and drop, and I like the fact that it's drag and drop. And the reason that I started using Canva is because I was hiring people to do different things like logos and things of that sort, and I was always having to go back and tell them to add something or change little details, and I spent just as much time trying to tell them to change stuff than just doing it myself. So then I started using Canva for that, and lead pages. Actually, I like Clickfunnels better than lead pages, but ClickFunnels is so expensive that I'm trying to figure out a way to not spend $300 a month on website. But it's
yeah,
so much more than a website. It is. It's so much more than a website.
it
So
is.
tell me, I have a couple more questions for you. You said you had a 7-step signature formula. Can you tell us a little bit about that 7-step signature formula?
So when you give a talk, one of the things that happens to most coaches and entrepreneurs is they think information is what the audience wants. And while it's true, the audience does want some information, what happens most times is when we show up and we just give an informational talk, I call it a show up and throw up, because the audiences, they feel vomited on and they leave and they're in total overwhelm. You just tried to teach them everything you know about everything you know, and they cannot take the next step with you. So this 7-step signature talk formula that I teach, and by the way, if you're listening to this right now, you can hop over to getclientswithspeaking.com and download the 7-step signature talk formula. And what this does is it helps you outline your talk that sets you up as the expert right from the very beginning and keeps you from making very common mistakes that many beginning presenters make. And some of those common mistakes are they make it all about themselves right off the bat. So instead, I show you the exact 7 steps that you need as a speaker, and I break down each of the 7 steps so that you can see, oh, okay, rather than talking about me and introducing myself right off the bat, I've actually got to ask the question to the audience that will get them engaged right from the very beginning and make it all about them. So I just show you all of my 20 plus years of public speaking experience, and I boil it down into one 7-step formula that if you follow this formula, the beautiful part about it is it does a couple things. One, it gets the audience engaged right from the very beginning. 2, it sets you up as the expert because you are sharing information in such a way that the audience can really digest it and understand it. And 3, it makes the audience want to work with you. It gets them hungry, in fact, to work with you. And every time I share this with an audience, what I want to tell you now is that when you're speaking in front of an audience, there's percentages of that audience that will do things. So for example, 10% of that audience doesn't like you, doesn't like your message, doesn't like what you're wearing, doesn't like how you have to say or how you're saying it. Okay, there's about 10% of your audience that's like, this blows. Now, you don't want to play to that audience. Instead, you want to play to the 40% of the audience that actually came there because they've got a problem to solve. And they're so excited about you and how you're sharing your message that they want to go further with you. And they want you to invite them into a way to do that. So literally, when you're in front of an audience, there's about 40%, sometimes it's even 50% of that audience wants to have you ask them out on the next date, really. I liken it to, yeah, I liken it to, you go, what happens with a lot of speakers is they give a talk, and they never take the audience to that next step. And it's like, if you go out on a date and the person never calls you back or asks you out for the next date, you kind of feel like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why didn't they want Why didn't they want to ask me out again? And as a speaker, you don't ever want to do that to your audience. You want to let them know that it was so important to you that they showed up, and that for those of them that this feels right for, you want to invite them into taking that next step with you. That next step might be getting on your list. In addition, it might be doing a coaching program with you or buying an entry-level product, but you do want to invite the audience into taking that next step, because there are about 40% of them that are sitting in your audience that are like, yes, I loved what she had to say. Let me go out on another date with her.
Yes, yes. And I know a lot of people that are looking for that on so many different levels. So
Yes, yes.
so 40% that will love you, want to go out on a date with you, 10% that are absolutely going to hate you. So what's the other 50%?
The other 50%, you can use this other 50%. So the other 50%, if you're really great at what you can do, you can turn that 40% into 70%, right? So you can get that audience swinging in the other direction. So you as the presenter actually have some control over this. And there's about 20% of the audience that's actually, they're fine. They're in their struggle. They're not ready to get out of their struggle yet. And this can really vary based on who your audience is, but they're like, nah, I'm content to suffer some more. I'm going to just keep suffering. I just wanted to come to this talk because it helps me feel like I'm not suffering as bad as I am. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. So there's 10% of the audience that doesn't like you at all. There's about 40%, maybe more, of the audience that loves what you have to say, and about 20% of that audience that's like, nah, I'm content. I'm content to struggle. But this was good information, and I liked what you had to say, but I'm content to struggle.
Gotcha. So there's 10% that will hate you. There's 40 to 70% that will love you, and there's 20% that probably loved you, but they're just content with where they are, and they're not going to change. Right?
Yes,
That's beautiful.
right.
You guys need to write that down. That's very, very important. Write that down. That's water for the thirsty, so that you guys can get what you need to move forward. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, do you recommend speaking for everybody? Do you think it's something that, anytime you start a business, you should have a speaking platform?
I love this question, Nselaa, because speaking is one of the single best ways I know of, despite what industry you are in. It works for every industry. And what I love about speaking is it puts you literally within a handshake's distance of your ideal clients, of your ideal prospects. It also sets you up as the expert. When you go to a talk and you're looking at the speaker, you're viewing them as the expert on their topic. So when you put yourself in front of the room, people will start to view you as the expert on your topic. And it's one of those things that's so easy to do nowadays, especially. Not only can you do this live and in person, there are so many groups out there. There's meetup groups, there's associations. There's over 1.9 million associations in North America. There's women's associations, business associations, men's associations, golf associations. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And many of these associations have your ideal clients just bursting forth. Then there's the online platform, right? So you have this whole online world where, like, you and I right now are delivering great content, but we don't ever have to leave the comfort of our own homes. And so that's one of the other things that is so brilliant about speaking today, is that you can add it into your live events that you're already doing and do online platforms as well, and really amp up the volume on what it is that you're here to do and the message that you're here to share.
Gotcha. So how do you book these platforms? Where do you go? Do you just give them, send them a cold email? How do they know that you're there? Where do you go to be able to speak to your ideal clients? And what do you need to have prepared for them in advance?
Great question. The first thing is you want to know who your ideal clients are. You gotta know that, or else you will be speaking to a room full of 3. So once you know who your ideal clients are, let's say your ideal clients are women business owners, okay? So you would go online and just do a quick Google search, women business associations or women business meetup groups, plus the name of your city that you're in. Or if you're in a small city, pick the next biggest city up. I guarantee you there's about 20 places or more where you can go out tomorrow and pitch yourself to go be a speaker. It's just bursting forth with, the internet is bursting forth with your ideal clients. So first step, you know who your ideal clients are. Second step, you Google the groups. So it's the name of your ideal clients and then the city that you're in and the word meetup or association, okay? So you do that, you find the list, the multitudes of places that you can go and speak at. And especially if it's meetup groups, you want to visually look at the meetup group profiles and see which, you know how they all have that picture on the front of the group? See which ones already have a picture of a speaker speaking to a group full of people, a room full of people. Those meetup groups that you can see, oh, their banner picture is a person, as a speaker speaking to a group full of people, then you know they bring in speakers. So you want to be looking at groups that are good at gathering people and bringing in speakers. The next piece that you've got to have is you've got to have a great talk title and those results-oriented bullet points that we talked about earlier. That's the secret sauce to getting yourself booked. It's a secret sauce to getting people to show up. And what you do is you just send a nice little email or you make a phone call and you say, hey, I love your organization. I love what you're up to in the world, which means you've researched the organization a little bit. And then you say something to the extent of, I've got an amazing talk called, insert the name of your talk. Here's what your audience is going to learn. Is this something that would be of service to your group? And that's it. Short, sweet, to the point, fire that email off, or you pick up the phone and you ask for the person who books speakers for that group, and you say, you know, hey, I'm Alysa Rushton, and I've got this incredible talk called XYZ. Here's what your audience is going to learn, and would that be of service to your group? And they either say yes or no. And that's the work of getting yourself out there. But what I find is that the people who do the work of getting themselves booked, they have a really great title, they've got results-oriented bullet points, and they make contact with people again and again, they get booked for speaking all day long, and they've got a very full speaking schedule, and they do some free talks and some paid talks and a nice, you know, balance of talks, and it's a really great way to build your business fast. I remember for me, in my first year of business, it's what I did to develop a coaching practice that was booked solid. So that's the only thing I really did. I went out, I gave talks, and that was how we did it.
Gotcha. So there has to be, you know, hundreds of speakers that are potentially pitching a lot of these resources. How do you make yourself stand out so that you're at the top of the list of the people that they're going to choose to speak?
Well, first, let me make a correction in that there's not hundreds of people reaching out to these folks. In fact, most places that have associations and groups, they're starving for good speakers. They're starving for content. They're starving for people to just ring them up and say, hey, could I come and give a talk? So that's the first thing I want you to understand, is that you're not up against a ton of competition. People are so hungry for great content. Now, how you position yourself is you have that great talk title. You have spent the thought work and developed the results-oriented bullet points. And you basically are making a value proposition like, hey, here's this amazing talk. It's going to teach this to your audience. Would you like to bring me in as a speaker? That's how you put yourself apart, because most people are not doing just that simple business right there.
Gotcha. Beautiful. That's perfect. That's exactly what they need to know. So tell us, what are the different tiers of speaking engagements? Like, for example, there might be one tier where you're speaking at conferences, one where you're speaking at associations, one where you're speaking at events where you're selling. How do you know what you should be charging for these different tiers?
Well, I'd like to just reframe the question because it starts sort of a layer underneath of that, okay? So there's 3 different types of speaking engagements. There's the speaking to sell engagement, which is where you don't get paid a dime, but you go and you offer a product or service. And that can actually be quite lucrative for a lot of people. So that's the first one. It's free speaking, speaking to sell. The second type of speaking is where you actually are a paid speaker and people bring you in conferences, events, etc., as a keynote speaker or maybe as a workshop breakout leader, and you get paid for that. And then the third type of speaking is what we call pay to play. That's where you, the speaker, actually pay a lump sum of money to get in front of a very hot audience that they know, the organization knows, will buy from you. So those are the 3 types of speaking events: free, paid speaker, pay to play. So to your question, the different levels of events and what would you charge, it's really a trick question because you might get invited to a pay to play event where you're actually paying $10,000 to get in front of that audience, or $20,000. Heck, there's some pay to plays out there that are $100,000. Now you've gone away, so I'm going to just keep talking until you come back. Now, there's also the keynote speaking, which is where you do get paid as a speaker. And when you're keynote speaking, I don't ever recommend charging less than about $4,000 to $4,500 for your speaking engagement. Hey, you're back.
I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so when you are positioning yourself as a paid speaker, recently there was a survey done of event planners, and the event planners said that if a paid speaker, was charging less than $4,500, they would feel like they weren't getting a very good speaker, like they were getting a beginning speaker. Most speakers don't start out being paid to speak. Most speakers start out, if you're in the first 1 to 3 years of your business, most speakers start out in the free speaking space, unless it's a very intentional keynote speaking business that you're creating. It's a much different business. And I will tell you, the speaking landscape today, I don't know any keynote speakers that are surviving solely off of their keynote speeches. They are selling products, they're selling books, they're doing pay to plays, they're also doing free speaking. So it's like the 3-legged stool. You're building a 3-legged stool: free speaking, pay to play, paid keynote speaking. That's a 3-legged stool. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So, but there's different opportunities, and you have to really kind of evaluate where you are in your business to determine which speaking opportunities you're going to take.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect. So tell us, what last minute words of wisdom do you have for people that are trying to follow your footsteps? They want to get into the speaking business. They want to explode their consulting company. What words of wisdom do you have for them, and how do they take these next steps?
All right. So the words of wisdom I have are: get very clear on your offer. That's the kernel, that's the seed that grows the huge plant. If you're not clear on your offer, the plant cannot grow. It's like the seed isn't there, okay? So you can't get the oak tree without the acorn. Your offer is the acorn, okay? So get clear on your offer. Once you have your offer, then design a signature talk around that offer and go give that talk everywhere that will have you. Your business will explode. my clients that do this, it's amazing what happens. I had a client just 2 months ago. We started working together, and literally she was struggling to get by, and within 6 weeks she was booked solid for January, February, March. She had made $18,000 the month of January. So this is huge, and all she did, she got very clear on her offer. She gave a free talk, started selling her offer. That was it. $18,000 in 6 weeks. Not bad.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
let me tell you a little bit about what we do here at Mini to Mogul. We want to make sure that our participants that are watching this are actually absorbing everything that they're getting, because they're not going to get it on the first time. They're not going to be able to listen to it one time and be like, okay, I have the speaking business down, right? So the way that they get it is by actually doing the homework, by participating. So what action assignment do you have that they can use, that they can take to the Facebook group, Mini to Mogul, and be able to apply to their business?
I love it. Okay, so first off, go to getclientswithspeaking.com and download the 7-step signature talk outline. Download it. Script out your talk, write it out, post that in the Facebook group. Let us see what you're up to with your signature talk. And it's so easy. I literally walk you through step by step by step. And once you have it outlined, that's all you need. You're off and running. So go download the 7-step signature talk formula. It's at getclientswithspeaking.com. Download it, outline your talk, post it in the Facebook group, get into action. We'd love to support you doing that, because really what I know at the end of the day is that when you have this talk and you can go and give it, you'll be seen as the expert. You will fill your practice, your coaching practice, your consulting practice, your entrepreneurial practice. You will explode. And this is how you do it without a budget. This is how you do it just getting started. It's a brilliant way to really create the business of your dreams. And by the way, I just want to add, this is how I was able to move to Hawaii. This is how I'm able to live literally inside a resort. I live right on the ocean. It's a fantastic life, and speaking is what got me there. So download those the 7 steps and just script out your talk and post that in the Facebook group. Get into massive action.
I think that is so perfect. I think that's a perfect assignment. Absolutely. So make sure you guys listen to what she says. Go to the website and download the signature stop, the 7 steps to a signature formula. And then make sure that you take your outline and go post it to the Facebook group so that you can get some feedback, and you can find an accountability partner that can help make sure that both of you guys are accountable throughout the year. This is perfect. Thank you so much, Alysa. You have been so awesome. You have given us so much information, and I hope that the thirsty is not thirsty anymore. I hope that they got something that they can take with them. We really, really appreciate you. Make sure that you go out and check out the website, and we will see you on the other end of Mini to Mogul.
Awesome. Thanks, Stella. Have a great day. Bye, guys.